Assassin's Creed Mirage is supposed to be returning to the roots that the series was built upon, but how true is that? I'm here to give you my insights on Assassin's Creed Mirage with a spoiler-free review. Hopefully it'll help you decide if Mirage is worth your money and time or not. Let's check it out. Mirage takes place in 9th century Baghdad. Right out of the gates, I'm going to tell you, it plays differently than the Mythology trilogy predecessors on the fact the story and time you will need to put into this game is greatly reduced. There isn't several regions to explore, level walls, or XP to be earned. That is all gone. Where in Assassin's Creed Mirage, it seems to have been simplified a great deal, where I found my experience taking about 18 hours on my first playthrough. That came with taking my time with the story and exploring what the city of Baghdad had to offer. So if you're wondering if you had to buckle up for another 50+ hour marathon, you can rest assured that isn't the case here. Even though I do like a good RPG game, it was nice for this Assassin's Creed to really not play like one. A nice change of scenery. But like any game, it came with its shares of ups and downs. For starters, with this game being simplified and shorter, the story wasn't like an epic tale, where it has time to be drawn out, where our hero goes on a wild journey bringing the player in, giving you time to get attached to the characters and having their complexities flushed out. Mirage's story is fine. It's not great, but it's not bad. It didn't particularly have any big wow moments or have me attached to the characters even. It's kind of basic is the best way to put it. Our main character, Basim, starts out as a young street thief. He stumbles across the wrong people where events go south. Oh no, I need help. Whoa, an assassin? Come with me. I'll protect you and teach you the ways of the hidden ones. Training, time montage. Our boy is an assassin now. From there, the story plays out in the format of working cases with the Hidden Ones bureau offices scattered around Baghdad, where you investigate for information, eventually leading you deeper and deeper into figuring out who the head of the Order of the Ancients is based out of Baghdad. I'm not particularly a fan of this case style with this game, so I'm hoping it's a one and done for the series, but we'll see in due time with future games. Now, before you lose hope in this game, or even with me in this review,
hold it right there!
Let me remind you, I said there are good things that work for this game too. Such as, with it being a smaller scaled game, the city of Baghdad feels better than any city I visited in the last few games. It's vibrant with crowds of people, the attention to detail. The city feels alive and busy, which would make sense as it's the primary place you play in. Sure, you can go outside of Baghdad to a few surrounding areas and check out what they have, as this game does give you the freedoms to roam after the prologue. But with how this game is designed, you really don't want to that much. As for Baghdad, has majority of everything you want and need at your disposal. There are sync points which offer cool cinematic views and fast travel points too. Baghdad really surprised me with how well it's created. Aside from the story cases, there are some fun side contracts you can do, like taking out assassination targets, heists, or escorting targets, and there are even some side missions sprinkled throughout the city as well. These do reward you with materials and special tokens mostly, as coins in this game aren't as vital to have like the previous ones. There are 3 special tokens: Merchant, Scholar, and Power. Merchant tokens will help you get a better deal with vendors. Power tokens can help to hire mercenaries, fight, and cause distractions with enemies. And Scholar tokens will help with other forms of distractions too. You do have the choice to upgrade gear or even weapons if you choose, but it is not a have to in this. It's not all about having higher gear stats or weapon stats. In fact, when it comes to combat, this is a two-sided sword. Sword fighting your enemies head on is awful, very easy to do, and I think Ubisoft did this intentionally, trying to send the message to the player, go the stealth approach. It is clearly king in this game and far more enjoyable. After all, you're an assassin, right? The purpose is to go quietly and get the job done unseen. With the stealth approach, there are things that have made a return in Mirage I haven't seen for quite some time, like the ability to be able to blend with crowds, or sit on a bench to lay low in the environment around you. Though if you happen to mess up where you trigger the notoriety system, whether you get caught pickpocketing, or even killing someone in front of witnesses, Ubisoft gives you a way to make up for it very quickly. You can use certain tokens, like those power tokens I mentioned, to pay off Munandis, basically a town caller of the news, or rip down the wanted posters that are hanging around. Personally, I'd recommend hanging onto your special tokens the Munandis require, and just rip down the posters, as they're very fast and easy to find, usually near one another too. Let's get to one of the big elements you've most likely been waiting for.
Parkour! Parkour!
Baghdad's layout has a huge role in this, with how buildings are typically in close proximity to one another, how they are connected with rope walkways or beams allowing you effortlessly to get from building to building, without losing that momentum on covering ground by being forced down to run a good distance, then take the high ground once again. Majority of the time, the game's movement flows like this, and I love that. I found myself being able to cover a lot of ground and quickly, thanks to how smooth the transition is from place to place. Now, it's not perfect, as I did encounter times where I wanted to climb up on something or do this action, and Basim had other ideas in mind, deciding to do something entirely different, or thinking I could easily scale up this wall, and I couldn't, leaving me searching for another way up. This is where frustration would enter the picture. With that being said, parkour is going back in the right direction if Ubisoft's intentions are to return to the roots of the series. However, it isn't quite there yet, as it did have moments of awkwardness and occasional clunkiness. Some other nice changes in Mirage, going away from the last few titles, is how simple the skill tree is. Yes, there is still a skill tree involved, but it is not as massive as the other games. It's simple and it gets the job done. There are 3 sections: Phantom, Trickster, and Predator. Phantom skills assist in combat, both stealth and head-on. Trickster, personally my favorite, helps with Basim's tools, which I'll touch up on more here in a second, and pickpocketing. The final section, Predator, which assists in stealth and upgrades to Enkidu, your trusty eagle sidekick. He acts as if the other birds in previous titles, being able to scout things from the air. I will say it makes you think wisely where to invest your points, as each skill unlocked does play a vital role serving a purpose. There isn't many skills on the tree to begin with, so don't worry about filler skills taking up your points. But don't let it be the end of the world if you regret a selection, because Ubisoft brought us a respec button, which leaves you seconds away from rebuilding your skill tree if you choose to.
That is awesome.
Where for those tools I mentioned, I recommend unlocking these in the Trickster section once you gain access by progressing far enough into the story where they become attainable through one of the characters, because they are game changers, really being able to help you out in tough spots and making stealth fun but tremendously easier if you want the extra help. A noisemaker, traps, throwing knives, a blow dart, and smoke bombs. These tools even have upgrade tiers if you have the right amount of materials required. Just be careful, because smoke bombs can be powerful, or if you place it right, easily it can allow you to take out like 3 to 4 enemies before it disappears. Throwing knives were my go-to. One of the upgrades even gives them the ability for your enemies to disappear upon killing them. Not realistic whatsoever, but come on, that's awesome. Mirage, for me, I was torn. I like Baghdad, and it did surprise me with how well it's made. Stealth was good, and the smoothness of parkour, mostly. The story wasn't anything but mid. For $50, just for a short story game, I don't think Assassin's Creed Mirage is worth it. Especially since Mirage was planned to originally be a DLC for Valhalla. What made Ubisoft change their minds? If you do like Assassin's Creed games and want to check out Mirage still, I would recommend waiting till it drops in price a bit. Say $30 or less. Yes, Mirage does have similar things to its previous RPG titles, so it hasn't entirely broken off that trend, but has tremendously been reduced. However, if Ubisoft builds off of what is here, like taking more steps in the right direction of parkour and rich smaller scale worlds, I'm intrigued to see what they will offer us next. Hopefully with a better story that makes the player drawn towards the characters more. It's not a bad game or a great one, it's fine, to sum it up. Let me hear from you in the comments section. What do you think about Assassin's Creed Mirage? Does it look like this is a return to the roots of the original games? But most importantly, remember to take care of yourself. Have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next video, which will appear right on your screen here.